Good morning, everybody. Glad to have you here, and appreciate you taking a few minutes with me this morning. And if you want to follow along, if you would, Acts chapter 18, verse 19. As you are finding that, if you would, like, share, comment on the post. If you haven't followed or subscribed, depending on which format you join me with, appreciate you doing that. And then we'll jump in here to this verse. A little short verse, but I think a great lesson, powerful lesson for us. It says, "They came to Ephesus, and he left them there. But he himself went to the synagogue and reasoned with the Jews." Again, a short verse, short message this morning, but an important, powerful, I think, lesson for us as we look at this verse. When we see here again, it's pretty straightforward what happens, but let's look at the lesson. One of the things that we see again, as we normally do with Paul, that while he was there in Ephesus, he went to the synagogue. And so one of the lessons that we learn about the life of Paul throughout the book of Acts is that, one, he obviously always goes to church. Whatever it may be. We see him gathering under the bushes, under the trees. We see him gathering by the river. We see him in the synagogue. But he goes. And while he is there, notice he reasoned with the Jews. And what this means is that while Paul was there, he was sharing the gospel with the Jews. He's not in Ephesus very long. In fact, if you look at the next verses, when they asked him to stay longer, he declined. And so Paul doesn't stay in Ephesus long, but he makes the most of the time that he has to reason with the Jews. He makes the most of the opportunity he is given, and we see that time and time again in Paul's life, Paul's ministry, as it's recorded for us here. That it doesn't matter where he goes, whether he's accepted or hated. Doesn't matter how long he stays. If he's just there for a few moments, he takes time. He always finds a way, a time, a means to tell people about Christ. And great model, great example for us, that no matter where he was and what he was doing, he found time to tell people about Christ. And I wonder how we would score in that category. We don't always have a lot of time, may not always be in the best of circumstances. There were times when Paul was sharing the good news of Jesus Christ when they were wanting to arrest him and throw him in jail, but he did it anyway. And so how do we score in that category? May not have the best circumstances. It may be the break room at work. It may be the checkout line at the grocery store. Maybe at a table in a restaurant. But that we take whatever opportunity we're given to tell people, to be an example for people about Christ. Something as simple, just a few examples of what I'm talking about. When your server brings the food, and before they leave the table, say, we're about to pray over our food. Is there anything we can pray with you about? And go from there. What happens? I had some very interesting conversations that way. When somebody says to you something, as simple as "it's a beautiful day." I'm thankful that God has blessed us with another day. I mean, just all those little tiny opportunities that God brings our way that Paul didn't miss. He took advantage of every one of them, even when it wasn't popular. And so my challenge for you today would be to model, to copy Paul, to look for those. Doesn't have to be the gate swung wide open, but just a little crack in the door. to just stick your toe in and to tell somebody about the good news of Jesus Christ. You think about it. Watch for those opportunities today, and we'll see you here tomorrow morning.